Hey, Brad. Hey, you've been Lottie's to the age like you're teaching shapes, right?
Yeah, we totally are.
Yeah, yeah, like octagon, hectagon, pentagon, things like that.
Yeah, definitely. She knows all those.
Did you teach her the top foregone?
What? No, what's that?
You didn't see this new one, the one that Arsenal just created. It's called top foregone.
No.
Hey, you know to celebrate that? Do you have a bottle of Do you have a bottle of wine that I could give you? Just a bottle.
I would love one. I would love one.
Oh,
I don't have any.
James already has one. Don't worry about it. We don't got to worry about sharing.
I guess this is gonna be pain. I guess. Not good morning, not good evening, not good afternoon. Whenever you're listening from, thanks for tuning in. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League, and it's going to be an hour of Arsenal slander.
Slander, Arsenal facts.
I'm James. I support Arsenal. That's Brad. He supports Chelsea, and that's Sean. He supports Tottenham. Lay it on me, gentlemen. Hello.
Did you like the bottle one? You like that?
I
Did
loved
you?
it. I loved it.
I thought you might. I thought
loved
you
it.
might.
That was the secret sauce. I was like, oh, he's in this one for the shapes. Okay, so we got to tell him the intro. Let's throw some extra spice.
You guys are so proud of yourselves.
Hey, look. You know what's amazing? Arsenal bottled this so hard that we're not even talking about FA Cup.
That's true.
About how you guys lost the FA Cup?
No, we won the FA Cup.
Yeah, your women won the FA Cup, but your men's
Yeah,
lost.
yeah, we won the FA Cup. No, yeah, we won the FA Cup. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. It's kind of how I don't believe that Arsenal played 2 games this last week. Is that are we doing the same thing?
I think that's what we're both trying to do here.
Oh, okay, just I just wanted to be on the same page.
Well, I mean, the difference is Arsenal definitely didn't play those 2 games. I think it's a fair assessment.
Well, one game was it was difficult to play against 12 people, and then the other game, yes, we certainly didn't show up. So. But we will get into
most
that.
Arsenal take I've heard.
What let me kind of give you guys a rundown about what we got coming on for you guys tonight. First, we're gonna hit your comments. Then we're gonna talk about the Premier League. We had lots of matches take place last week and into this week. Everything's getting squared away for Championship Sunday coming up. Almost everyone's played their requisite 37 games. We got just a few teams who have not yet played 37 games. Those will take place tomorrow. We did have an FA Cup final, have the cup final on Saturday last, and as Brad brought up in our group text, last Saturday was the first of 12 consecutive Saturdays that there won't be Premier League football. So I'm glad that I could bring that happy news to all of you people on Red Card Radio. And that's, of course, English Premier League football. Either 12 weeks of no Premier League football. I don't know. I think that there are, of course, there's the MLS in the summer. Right, guys. Right.
Yeah. This will be a Charlotte FC podcast.
DC United.
Yeah, MLS is the only league worse than Serie A.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
You're just coming. You
just want the heat, don't you?
You're just. He
I
wants
don't mind it. Will didn't comment this week. I got to bring him back out.
All right. Before we get too deep, if you are new here, if you're listening for the first time, if you're listening for the 6th time, and you haven't yet subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, hit the sub notification bell, give us a follow on our podcast apps, wherever you're listening, Apple Podcasts, follow us on Twitter, rate us a 5-star on Apple Podcasts, leave us a comment. All those things would really help us. Share this podcast with a friend, share it with an enemy, perhaps. Whoever, we don't mind. We're equal opportunity, purveyors of content. Please share it with people. That would really help us, and we wouldn't want any inconvenience to, come into your life. Right, Sean?
No. You definitely want to like, subscribe, rate, review, 5-star, because if you don't, what might befall of you is just being an Everton fan. Just that's it.
That's it. That would be inconvenient.
Mildly inconvenient. I ran across a stat.
Okay, well, I want to hear the stat.
To pile on to the Everton poop truck. To put the final shovel of poop on top of this poop truck that is their season this year. Uh, Everton have not scored at Stamford Bridge in quite some time. In fact, in that time, Christian Eriksen has scored at Stamford Bridge, left, went to Serie A, scored a hat trick in Serie A, won Serie A, has died, come back to life, retired, unretired, come back to the Premier League, and then scored at Stamford Bridge again.
Since the last time Everton scored at Stamford Bridge.
Yes. All of those things happened in the time since Everton have scored at Stamford Bridge.
Damn.
Wow.
And if you have your way, it might take them an even longer time to have an opportunity to score at Stamford Bridge. So
Exactly.
that would be inconvenient. So you should probably like, comment, subscribe, and 5-star.
That was quite the stat.
Yeah. You guys want to do comments?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's
Okay,
do
well,
comments.
you didn't have any choice in the matter because I'm still hosting, so I was going to read the comments whether you guys said so or not. But we're starting we're starting with Joel. Welcome, Joel. So we've been having this ongoing conversation about Harry Kane for whatever reason. Sean is of the opinion that he is not the best Spurs player. He is confused on that point for some reason. But this is Joel's comment about Harry Kane, and we were talking about the England setup as who's the best English player. And Kane's and Joel's comment is Kane is the first name on every England team sheet. No argument there. He's currently irreplaceable, our captain, and just the best overall player. I genuinely don't think there's an argument there for anyone else. I think that's true, only because there are no other English center forwards.
Well, no, I mean,
right? Who?
I mean,
you could make an argument. You could make an argument for Foden. You could make an argument.
Not at number 9 though.
No. I'm just saying the first one on the team sheet.
Oh,
because that's what he's arguing. He's the first name on the team sheet. You can make an argument for Foden. You can make an argument for Mount. You can make an argument for Trent. I'm just saying.
Southgate doesn't make that argument.
Kane's probably the first one on the team sheet. He's probably right.
I think he's not wrong. Joel, I don't think you're wrong on that standpoint, but I also think Kane benefits from the fact that he's the only English number 9. Like you're not gonna like look at the plethora of English center forward options and look at anyone past Harry Kane. Like
what's
Calvert-Lewin. Like you're not taking Calvert-Lewin.
I was gonna say, what's the best after that? Is it Vardy? Is it Calvert?
Who, Brad?
Tammy Abraham.
Okay, true. Yeah, no, that's a fair point. He had like 20
goal season.
25 goals or something like that at Rome.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be Vardy, but they don't really play the same way.
Vardy is ancient.
Vardy's not a 9.
They don't play.
Agreed.
They don't play the same way. But yeah, Calvert-Lewin is the only one, maybe even close.
I think Brad's point about Tammy Abraham.
Tammy Abraham passes Calvert-Lewin by leaps and bounds,
especially after this season. The reason why you don't know about Tammy Abraham
or Ollie
Sean,
Watkins
is because you're confused. You think that he has been farming Italian grapes to press in the Italian wine presses, but in fact he's been playing football. He's been scoring goals.
I'd put Ollie Watkins or even Ings over Calvert-Lewin.
He's in trade school over in Rome.
Yeah. He's in the school of Jose Mourinho.
Training with the master.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, can we also go back to what was it? Probably last August, where I add another thing to the list of things Sean Stradamus has gotten correct. Brad's all excited about Lukaku, and I was like, he's over there pumping in goals against farmers and plumbers, and you just watched him not 2 or 3 years ago at United crap the bed so bad that they shipped him off to Inter Milan. Now he starts pumping in goals against whoever down there, Sassuolo. And now he's like, oh, yeah, $100 million. Yeah, absolutely. He's going to be great. And you just saw him suck 2 years ago.
I cannot wait for Spurs to draw any of the Italian teams in next year's European competition and just absolutely slapped twice. Like that will make my day. And
Yes.
Conte is just confused, assuming Conte's even there.
That is a big assumption. But hey, little credit there. Like, put that on the list. Like I told you it was coming. Lukaku's not going to be good in the Premier League. He already proved that.
Okay, here's the question.
He's Chelsea's top goal scorer for the season.
At like 11.
15.
If I told you it, no way he's at 15
for the season, not for Premier League.
All competitions.
Yeah.
All competitions? No, get that out of here. What's he got in the Premier League? Because that's what you signed it for. You signed it for 15 to 20 in the league.
It doesn't even matter. The fact that we're arguing semantics over 11 or 15 goals for the £100 million striker is hilarious to me.
Yes.
Exactly. That's my point.
I agree.
It was not going to happen.
Hey, wait a second. Wait, one last thing for our Italian farmers. Are we ready for the Jose quote of, I came here to win. I won all 3 leagues. I am the king of Europe.
I'm here for it.
You will be the first coach. You'll be the first coach to win the Champions League, the Europa League, and the Conference League.
To be fair, this is the first season anyone could possibly attain that.
Oh yeah, but that's not going to stop him.
Yeah, certainly. Jimmy did have a response to Joel on this. He said, obviously I'm biased, but I think Henderson is a better captain if he's on the field. No one mentions Mason Mount on the top of the players in the England argument. Kane is very good, but I often find him overrated. I don't know if I have a strong opinion on who's the best / most valuable player on the team. Kane and Foden those are probably up there for his choice as the best. So Jimmy does. I see your point about Henderson. In terms of like being an on-field captain, I definitely think he's a better on-field captain than Harry Kane. But I also don't generally rate center forwards as captains personally.
I don't think they should be either. It should usually be someone who's actually like field managing, which is usually a central midfielder or defensive midfielder or a center back.
Yeah.
Or a keeper
or a goalie. Yeah.
No, I'm for that. I'm pretty sure I said Mason Mount last week.
I mean, I might have said Aaron Ramsdale, but that doesn't mean anything.
Well, he was saying no one mentioned Mason Mount from the top players in England. Yeah.
I'm just trolling. Joel's other comment about Harry Kane in the Kane versus Son specific debate, he says, all right, better pass, because I kind of went through the list. I was trying to get you to get the list. So better passer, he says Kane. Finisher, Kane. And he parenthetically states it's not a fair argument because they play different positions. Kane's a striker, Son's a winger. Who has a better shot? Harry Kane. In the air, Kane. Hold up play, Kane. So that's Kane.
I don't.
Kane.
Like a couple of those are debatable. Can you look at that left-footed shot from Son a couple weeks ago and say definitively Kane's got a better shot?
Yeah.
No, come on. Like Son's got a really effing good shot too.
Okay, that's fine. He can have a really good shot. Kane's a better shot.
I don't know.
All right, Sean, game's on the line. You got one shot at goal. Who gets the ball, Kane or Son?
What's the situation? Is it just like a dead ball, or is
it
a penalty? Is it like an open? Because if it's like
doesn't matter the situation. Who's getting the ball? Because he smirked because he knew what the answer was going to be.
I think it depends on the situation. If it's a ball through behind the defense, streaking 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, I'm probably taking Son. Because he's faster, he's not going to get caught by the defense, and those are the goals he scores.
Okay.
If it's a cross,
but any other situation,
that's the one highly specific situation. Yeah.
Correct. You got really super specific there to say Son was better than Kane. So
no,
I think my point is proven here.
I wasn't.
You're taking Kane.
Yeah.
You want that ball at Kane's feet. Yeah.
What is it? Kane hasn't missed a penalty in like 4 years or something like that. It's insane.
Kane hasn't missed a penalty in so long that Christian Eriksen has scored at Stamford Bridge. Now it's good.
I was gonna like that. Jimmy had some other comments. He thinks he's supporting Nottingham Forest. And he's with City Ground Sean on this one.
Come on. City Ground Sean.
So, as an aside, I really appreciate, Jimmy, that you are giving Sean new Twitter handles for all of the different grounds. That makes me happy. Point, Nottingham Forest, point B. Brad showed me a video. I think you should share it to him on Twitter, Brad.
I should. I will. I will send it to him.
Of a Nottingham Forest fan decking somebody for
decking the coach. I think the coach of Sheffield United.
Yeah.
Or somebody high up in Sheffield United just got laid out.
Like,
And I'm pretty sure here. Everybody here said they were cheering
was-
for Nottingham Forest, correct?
Yeah, I am.
I don't.
30 players.
I don't honestly
What-
remember.
I think
What
so. I think
is-
everybody said Nottingham Forest, and I was the only one that said Huddersfield Town.
What was the situation that led to
So
someone in Sheffield getting
All right,
death?
so
The
the
fans-
second game of the final was the second game of the semifinal was today, and Sheffield United went up 2-1, so aggregate was 3-3. So it went into penalties at Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest goalie saves 3 in a row for them to win it. So everybody invades the pitch because it's the final, and one dude in this bright yellow shirt
He's a big dude.
just trucked
Big dude.
the coach. Like big, yeah.
I'm
had-
not a
he's had a
fan
couple-
of that.
He's had a couple fish and chips. I'll just say that.
Yes. But y'all chose Nottingham Forest. I'm
You
just
guys-
saying.
You guys are cheering this on?
I'm not. I'm here for Huddersfield Town.
Yeah, I'm just saying that maybe Jimmy will look at that situation and reassess his belief. Can we have a quick conversation though about the ability for these fans to just invade the pitch? Like what's going? Like where are the stewards?
What are they gonna do? Like what? Like the stewards just gonna block 20,000 people? Like what are you gonna do?
Clearly, they're
Have you
not,
seen the
but
video of the
it's-
stewards that just stand there like this, and like
I mean,
there's like
they're-
clearly 3 people in between each spot?
They're probably told not to because it's probably dangerous for them. But like, come on, like we gotta cut this shit out. It's professional sports. Like get off the field. Like that's okay in high school. That's okay in college. It's definitely okay in college if your college hits like it's a crazy punt return against their one of their regional rivals who's a little bit of a bigger school. And then do you guys remember this when Wise and Emory Henry?
Yes. Yes.
It was a punt return, I think. Or a
Yes,
kickoff?
it was a punt return that it was a punt return, and
Yeah.
Davis over like the announcement over it. Yeah, I remember that. That was amazing.
Yeah, so it's
It was after we
Wise's-
left, Sean. It was the year
Was
after
it?
we had all left. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. Wait, Brett.
Yep.
Okay.
It was the year after you and I left, James.
No,
It was 2 years after Sean left. Yeah.
I was in school. I was at the game when it happened. It doesn't matter. As a super big aside, Brad will Google that for us, and it will be like 2011 or something like that. And then Jimmy had another comment for you, Brad. I think he's already told it to you personally, but he says, "I hope you're prepared for American owners," which is the same exact thing that I said to you last week. Is what apparently he said to you when the ownership thing had been announced. But there's an interesting development on that. I don't know if do you want to take this, Brad? Do you know what I'm talking about with Chelsea and the ownership bid? About how apparently the UK government isn't satisfied with the where the funds of the sale of the club are going to go. So Abramovich has said he wants the funds to go into a trust that's controlled by some entity that will help distribute those funds to the Ukrainian victims, right?
Yes. So the UK government keeps changing how they want this sale to go down. And now they're worried that how they have it structured, the money will end up with Roman.
Yeah, that's
And
the
then,
concern.
but the person that's leading the whatever group it is that will have the money is a former UNICEF chief, and he's like, no, Romans doesn't have anything to do with this. It's fine, and the Premier League signed off on it. So I think it's just like rumor mongering at this point. Because
It's possible.
This happens once a week. Every time we come on here, we're like, oh no, something's gonna happen, and then they're like, actually, everything's fine.
Yeah.
They just got the documents. Like I think they just got the documents like Friday or Monday. So they might have just seen everything and were like, oh, we got to fix this detail. And then it gets blown up to the whole deal structure is wrong and it's going to be broken. Da, 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 da.
I mean,
So,
I'm okay.
I'm really
if it
not
is.
worried.
I'm okay. If it
I'm
is.
really not worried.
But see, it's a little different for American owners when you're like your owner's Stan Kroenke, who just didn't give a F for the Rams to win a championship. Like that was visible. They threw every draft pick, every free agent, they threw everything they could at winning it, and then did.
Yeah.
Like when that's your owner, and then now Brad, your owner was the Dodgers owner, right?
Yeah.
Yep. He's part of the Dodgers group. He's like the
Liter-
leading force.
Literally done everything within his power to get the championship they got 2 or 3 years ago. They have paid everybody they possibly can. It's getting to the point of nauseum, because they just signed every big free agent. When that's your owner, that's an American owner, that's not really the stereotypical American owner. That's
It's not
someone
John
who can
Henry.
succeed.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not. It's
John
not
Henry.
Fenway Sports Group. That's true.
No.
Who are misers, or the Glazers, who are misers.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, the Cronkies got stick from Arsenal fans for years, and I mean, like,
For not spending, for not going out and getting it.
Yeah,
Was that
and
was that more Cronky or was that more Arson though?
I mean, Arson left in. I think they bought the club in 2016, 2017 or something like that, and Arson left in 2018.
Oh, it's not recent. I thought it was farther than that.
No, their buyout
Well,
wasn't that far. He was
Cronkies
a part owner and then he bought it out.
Yeah, the Cronkies have been Cronky Sports Entertainment Group has been part owner of Arsenal for probably 12 years now, and then so it was Cronky and Usmov, who is an owner, and he's in Everton now. They both bought
He's a silent partner.
Yeah, they bought like 10% stakes, and there was this like buying war going between them. Until Cronky got to 50.1% of shares and triggered an automatic buyout or mandatory buyout from all the other shares. But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, he's been in the ownership group for 10 plus years. But yeah, part of that was Arson. That's not the way Arson wanted to run the club.
Right.
So,
but when he wanted Ozil, they went out and got Ozil. So like,
yeah, but Ozil only cost us like 35 million. Like, Ozil wasn't that expensive.
Back then that was pretty expensive. I think. Like,
yeah, that was
Eden Hazard cost us 32, and so did Conte at that time. Cost us 32.
Okay, but there was a difference between buying Mesut Ozil from Real Madrid and Eden Hazard from
Lille.
Yeah, like that's different levels. Like the Champions League winner,
okay,
World Cup winner Mesut Ozil, and on the up and coming Eden Hazard. So like there's differences.
Well, and Conte from Leicester after just winning the Premier League from Tottenham, as we discussed in our group chat today.
Yeah,
taking that L to Chelsea and Newcastle to lose the title when nobody else was in competition.
Joel said it perfectly because he happened to be in that particular group chat that one of the most Spursiest things we've done was that season. That was, it was either 16-17, no, it's 15-16, or was it 16-17?
I think it was 15-16.
Before those last three games, Tottenham were right there, like one Leicester F up from a title.
I mean, Arsenal were right there as well. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, and they were snipping our heels, but we were like 4 points, whatever it was. We were 4 points or so ahead, and challenging Leicester, not worried about Arsenal. Just take care of our business. We're good. And then we draw the third to last game. We draw to Chelsea in an ugly game.
Chelsea, I think
it was 2-2 because I looked it up earlier. And it was ugly. It was ugly from Tottenham, mentally bad. I mean, it was fouls all over the place to where even a Tottenham fan, I was like, whoa, boys, calm it down.
Do you remember who your manager was at that point?
It was Pochettino.
Okay.
Yeah, and then final game got 5-1 by Newcastle.
10-man Newcastle.
10-man Newcastle. To lose second place and finish third. And the way Joel phrased it was only the Spurs in a two-man race can finish third.
Yeah, I mean,
it's well said.
Well, we'll see what happens this week. But I guess we unfortunately have to talk about the football.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. I mean, I don't care. Let's do it. Let's start with the table. That seems like a good place to start. If we're taking a look at the table, so of course, first position is still Manchester City. Liverpool, of course, right on their heels at 89 points and 90 points respectively. In third is Chelsea. Up to fourth is Tottenham. They did get the win in the North London Derby and then went on to beat Burnley. And Arsenal failed to win either of those two games. Of course, they lost the North London Derby and then lost to Newcastle, so that leaves them 2 points adrift of that fourth place position with one game to go. United are in sixth. West Ham are in seventh. That looks I mean, West Ham can overtake Manchester United, which would be awesome. I'm here for that if that happens. Wolves will finish in probably 8th, unless Leicester gets a result. Well, maybe not. Leicester are in 9th. Brighton and Hove are in 10th. Brentford are in 11th. Newcastle are up to 12th. Their max is going to be 9th or 10th-ish, depending on what happens above them. Crystal Palace are in 13th. Villa are in 14th. Southampton are in 15th. They are safe. Now in 16th is Everton. They are not quite safe. Leeds are in 17th. They are not quite safe. 18th is Burnley. They are in the relegation zone, not safe yet. Watford in 19th. They are relegated. Norwich City in 20th. They are relegated. So kind of the only truly interesting things going on this weekend on Championship Sunday will be the results in the Manchester City and Liverpool games to decide who wins the title, and then what happens with Everton, Leeds, and Burnley over the course of the next couple days. Of course, Everton and Burnley will both be playing their 37th game on Thursday. They have a game in hand on Leeds, so if they both take max points, they would both. I think if Everton get a victory, if Everton beat whomever they are playing this weekend, I have it on another screen. I can look it up.
Yeah, they can't be caught.
If Everton beat Palace, they can't be caught. They'll be safe. If Burnley beat Villa, they will not quite be safe. But Leeds have to play. Who do Leeds play on the final day? Leeds play Brentford and Burnley play Newcastle. So yeah, those will kind of be the games to watch this weekend coming up. Specifically, the games, what took place on the pitch, who played whom, and what the results were. Last week, we had on Wednesday Leeds hosting Chelsea. Chelsea get the victory 3-0. Leicester hosting Norwich. Leicester get the victory 3-0. Watford hosting Everton. That game ended in a 0-0 draw. And then City beat Wolves 5-1. Flip to the North London Derby last Thursday. All right, so the predictions. Brad had 1-1. James had 1-0 to Arsenal. Sean had 3-0 to Spurs. And if you are an active follower, if you're an active follower of the Premier League, you will know that Sean is correct. That game ended 3-0. The 12 men of Spurs got the victory against Arsenal. Spurs and Burnley on Sunday morning. Spurs beat Burnley 1-0 to, of course, go over top of Arsenal, though Arsenal still had a game to play, but they lost that. Villa and Palace played to a 1-1 draw. Leeds and Brighton played to a 1-1 draw. Watford and Leicester get the 5-1 victory. West Ham and City played to a 2-2 draw. Now that does give Liverpool a little bit of hope, a little bit of life, after Liverpool dropped points against Spurs. So leaves match week 38 to be very interesting between those two teams. Wolves and Norwich played to a 1-1 draw. Brentford beat Everton 3-2. Very contentious finish in that game. On Monday last, Newcastle beat Arsenal 2-0. It wasn't much of a game for Newcastle. They were playing against ghosts, apparently. And Southampton and Liverpool played today. Liverpool did eke out a victory. Maybe eke out isn't fair. It was a tight game for a long time, but Liverpool did ultimately win that game 2-1. So those were the results of the weekend. Where should we start, gentlemen?
I got four shout outs.
Okay, one.
Four.
Yeah, I know. I'm holding up a number for your first.
Okay, number one. Shout out to Watford for a good run in the Premier League. Like they're heading down, but like they were up for a couple of years. Man, good for them.
Do we know how many years it was?
One?
Probably. No, right? They were up for. Troy Deeney's been running around terrifying people for a while.
I'm pretty sure this was their first season back, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, never mind. No shout out to Watford. Only 3.
Yo, fuck Watford.
Yeah, fuck. Well.
Hold on. Wait. I got something.
I thought they were up for a while.
Last time Norwich went down, Watford also went down. They were last and second to last again.
Oh, okay. Hold it back. I thought they were up for a little bit. Anyways, all right. So no shout out for Watford. Shout out to Burnley, Leeds, and Everton for making the freaking relegation zone fun. we've been talking about this for 3 months. Like this race for 18th. And it's been spicy, man, and it's heading down to match week 38. All right, third shout out, Brentford. What's up? 11th? First one up?
Is Brentford Leeds 2.0? We were
and then they're heading down next year.
We were all super high on Leeds at the end of last season, and
see what they do with the money. And then fourth shout out, Wolves. Just out here, Wolves out here just vibing in 8th.
Bro,
just they're not spinning anything. They're just trucking along, finishing 8th. No big deal.
It was getting pumped 5-1 by City, but yeah, shout out to
Wolves. Not the result. I'm just looking at the table. Good for them, man. Finish 8th, bro. Because they've been, what's it been, 4 years? They've been finishing around there.
Yeah, that's kind of their
top 5. Yeah.
What's up, Brad?
Also, going into the end of the season, how much money did Newcastle spend in January? This is my shout out.
It was a solid 30.
It wasn't too much. It was less than 100 mil. It was like maybe 70 mil.
Okay, so they spent
Kamara's, Trippier, and somebody else, right?
Dan Burn,
I think Chris Wood. They spent 70 mil for to finish 1 point more. Assuming they don't get points
from last season.
4 points more. The maximum points is 4 points more, and they're actually in the same exact spot that they were last year. They finished 12th last year.
Well, you have to remember they also spent money in the summer. They spent like 25 million on Joe Willock, at least.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's not fair considering when they spent
Gomez was
70.
like 40. No, I think you're wrong because they bought Gomez too.
Yeah, he was like 40. And Trippier was like 30.
They were
when they bought Wood was like 10, 11.
So
he's like 20. Oh yeah, no, I think it's closer to 100 mil.
I still think it's south of 100 million, but
they were 19th when they bought all those people. Like, you got to keep that in mind.
But you know what's funny is that the only way that you are 19th and willing to spend that type of money is if your ownership group is a $300 billion ownership group. Like Mike Ashley.
It's a country.
Well, the thing about it is, like, if there is a chance that you get relegated, you can't go out and spend 100 million in January. Like, that's just
and be wrong.
And
be wrong
because then your club is going to get liquidated in 4 years. You're going to be Derby County. You're going to be Leeds from the early thousands. Like, yeah, like that would be financial malpractice. Now, of course. They were able to spend that money and they were able to stay up. I wonder if that will set a bad precedent for other teams in the future. They're like, oh, look, Newcastle were dead in the water and they spent some money in January. I hope that doesn't. Gosh. I hope that doesn't become a trend for teams that are potential. And maybe it does become a trend, and I'm proven wrong, and that all the teams that spend the money in January survive. If that could be a thing, but I think that they had a pretty large safety net in case they did ultimately get relegated. But they've had a great second half of the season, so yeah, hats off to Newcastle.
So with those aside,
yeah,
Brad, like we've got to talk about the North London Derby, since Mr. Accuser up there is talking about a 12th man.
I mean, is there anything else we want to talk about? Is there anything else we want to talk about? Because I mean, I don't think there's really anything.
We can dive into me being right again.
Watford Everton draw. I'm just trying to see if there's anything interesting to talk about.
You clearly don't want to talk about that Leeds result.
What, Leeds Chelsea?
Yeah.
I mean, we 3-0'd them. They had a red card in the 20th minute in. Not that much there.
What's going on with Leeds and their ill discipline? That's 2 games in a row with red cards. I
don't know.
It's bananas.
It is.
Especially with where they're at.
It's probably just super desperation, right? Like, what else can you do but just go for it?
Yeah. I wonder if that's what Jesse Marsh is telling them. Like you have to leave it all out there, and it's just becoming like just like there's small things. Like neither one of the tackles that were given as red card were super malicious, but they were like obviously reckless.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw like Kovacic had like 2 apples on as an ankle.
Yeah, like he got. But I guess
still played in the FA Cup.
I guess my point is that it wasn't like a dirty tackle, but it was
correct.
It was reckless. For sure.
Yeah, of course these always look more indicting than they actually are, but a still frame of when the contact was made and good lord, the
You
Leeds
could
guy just
see it.
launched himself at
Yeah.
Kovacic,
He did win the ball.
and like.
To his
He
point,
got
he,
And
ball.
he won the ball.
like I said, I led that with, of course, they're more indicting than a real time play.
Yeah, yeah.
But golly,
Yeah, they were bad.
Yeah.
It looks like it could have. I mean, this is always. I almost dislike when people say this, but like it could have ended a career.
Oh,
because that's
for
a little
sure.
that's a
Oh,
little
yeah.
that's a little blown out of proportion. But yeah, like he could have taken Kovacic's knee out with that, and he just never be the same,
don't
and
know.
then his career just
Yeah.
fiddles
Yeah.
out.
Ryan Shawcross has something to say about career-ending tackles.
Yeah.
So does Holland. Holland's daddy.
Oh, Alfie, old Alfie.
Yeah, Alfie. Oh, Alfie.
Not Ireland.
But yeah, I mean, there isn't really anything there. So I guess Sean, why don't you take it away, Mr. Sean Stradamus, on this
right.
North London derby?
All right, so I've watched the first half, and I agreed. I saw because we were all at work, so I was just kind of keeping up with it, and then I've just rewatched or not rewatched. I watched the replay of the first half because that's where all the meat and potatoes of the game were. Because if you watch the first half, you know how the second half is going to go.
Yeah, first 50.
We're gonna get those
48.
second goals eventually. 10 minutes. Man, your boy Holding. It's like Arteta told him to get in Son's head.
I mean,
because
he did. Son elbowed him twice in the head.
I didn't see any of that.
How could you not see it?
Hey guys, if you could, please tag those videos to @WhiteHeartSean because they were very blatant and obvious. In the 11th minute, Son should have been off.
So who got it? Who got in whose head then?
Well, I think Son got in Paul Tierney's head.
Okay, all right. No, because I agreed. I saw someone on Spurs Twitter saying, "Hey, it looks like they're going to let him play." And at that point in the game, Holding had gotten cautioned once. No cards. Just kind of blew the play but dead, and it was clearly a foul on Son. And then he cautioned him again, and then he gave the yellow, and then the penalty, which I also agree with you guys. That's not on Holding.
It's not even a penalty.
It didn't look like a penalty.
It's not even a penalty.
Honestly,
it's not even come on, it's not even a foul.
It was if you're going to give it on anybody, it's on Cedric.
Yeah, and that's who they gave it on. It was a foul.
Okay.
It was a foul committed by
Holding.
Cedric, but it's not a penalty. It's absolutely not a penalty.
Watching the game,
soft.
the announcers thought it was like
Handball.
They said they thought it was handball on Holding at first because they couldn't even figure it out.
And do you remember?
I agree with that.
Sean, do you remember watching this? And Lee Dixon is talking. Lee Dixon is commentating because Arlo's talking, and then Lee Dixon starts talking, and then they show the replay, and he's just silent for 7 seconds. It's just the most pregnant silence ever, and he's just like,
wasn't anything in that.
Exactly. He just didn't know what was going on. This man is a professional footballer. He played defense, and he's looking at this and be like, I would be livid if this was given as a penalty against me. And it just entirely destroyed the game.
However, at that point, Holding's already on a yellow.
The first yellow card on Rob Holding, completely legit. The second yellow card on Holding, I forget what it was.
Light.
It
was light.
Oh, it was the stop. It wasn't even that. It was the stop.
Yes, he did.
You
see the arm move.
He doesn't throw his elbow. His shoulder moves. His shoulder moves. His chest and shoulder move, but his elbow never moves from away from his body. So saying it's an elbow throw is disingenuous because I watched it 1,000 times. I can understand what Paul Tierney is seeing, and I understand that VAR can't overturn yellow cards, but all this talk that that should be a red card. How many times did we see in other games this week players intentionally stopping players off the ball? Because I saw it at least 3 or 4 times, and it was completely unpunished. So,
True, but
so
here's the
Paul
thing:
Tierney
it
is a
shouldn't.
trash can. Paul Tierney is garbage. He should not be a Premier League referee. He should not be a League One referee. He should not be an MLS referee. This guy is trash. And I said it, Sean. I tweeted you like 2 weeks ago when it was announced that Paul Tierney was the referee, and I was like, I'm annoyed because he's fucking horrendous. And
I thought you would want Kieran Tierney's dad refereeing the game.
this dude is absolute refuse, and he has no place being a Premier League referee, and it's absurd.
I did as a competitor. I did not like to see that game come down to a referee deciding
Inserting
the game,
himself?
inserting himself, essentially, because
But the
I felt
only
like
reason
he had to do something about how chippy it was getting. But you have to know that the North London Derby is going to be chippy, so you either need to set that precedent early.
It has to be the first, like either the first foul is a yellow card, but when he started letting them play, like it's just like, come on, man, like.
Yeah, because that's I told you guys right off. Like, the comment I saw from Spurs Twitter was, "Oh, they're going to let him play because they're being a little rough on Son, and they're not calling anything. So we're just going to have to deal with it."
Ben Davies
Spurs
kicked
were-
the shit out of Saka.
And he got
Yeah.
the yellow. He got the yellow.
We got the yellow for the trip, but I'm pretty sure he kicked the shit out of him again. I don't know. It all went. Honestly, I'm mad about the North London Derby. I am upset about it.
I'd rather just the same. I know you guys. We differed, in my opinion, that I wouldn't want it, or that I said I would rather a full Arsenal. I don't want excuses.
Oh, yeah.
I'd rather beat a full Arsenal
yeah,
than play them on some COVID bullshit, and then they got something to complain about that we beat them. So when a ref inserts himself, then it makes it feel cheap.
I mean, to be fair, this wasn't a full Arsenal. We are so threadbare, and that's not Spurs' fault.
Maybe you should have played in January.
Yeah, we honestly, if you think about like the situation we're in now, it would have been better to play in January, because if we lost in January, it gets it out of the system. But the point that I would make is that regardless of the fact that Arsenal are threadbare, that's an issue of our own making. It's not Spurs' fault that Arsenal decided not to spend any money in January. That's Arsenal's fault. It's not Spurs' fault that you know we have no players, essentially. That when push comes to shove and we need goals, like the players that we're bringing on are Nicolas Pepe, who I don't think I remember the last time he scored a goal, and Alexander Lacazette, who I don't remember the last time he scored a goal. We Arsenal fans knew this was the problem in January. We were like, okay, well, I guess we're just gonna rock out and see what happens. I hope injuries don't hurt us. And injuries have bit us in the ass, and that's all on Edu and Arteta for not getting signings in. And so, like, while I'm mad about the North London Derby, it didn't matter. The loss didn't matter. Arsenal put themselves in a position for that game to not matter. They were in charge of their own destiny, and then decided to not show up at St. James's Park. Literally, they did not show up. We like all of the comments that Granit Xhaka made after the Newcastle loss are so on point. Like, I couldn't be more happy with his assessment of what happened, because Arsenal we just did not play against Newcastle. Newcastle won every 50-50. They pressed us harder. They were always looking more threatening to score a goal. I don't know if we we did have a couple decent opportunities early in the first half, but we just never looked really threatening. When Gabby Martinelli came on in the middle of the second half, we did look more threatening. But then they get a second goal, and it just is over. We're just shattered at that point, and it's unfathomable to me to be in that position. I understand the argument that we're a young team and that these things are going to happen. It's unacceptable. But at the same,
was it rest? Why wasn't Martinelli on from the beginning?
I will
go on record and say he's better than Saka. He has to be on the field.
I generally agree with you. I don't disagree, but it's Saka.
He's electric.
It's Martinelli or Emile Smith Rowe, right? Those are the two players that are interchanging that left wing position.
Yeah. Saka's on the right, so that's why.
Saka's on the right.
And I don't necessarily disagree with you, Sean, that, But to me, I don't know if maybe Arteta. These guys have played every game since January. Like
Yeah.
they're
Because if
probably
it's rest,
exhausted.
I get it. If it's rest, I get it.
The thing is, like, the thing about rest is, like, you can't really take rest with only a week and a half left in the season. Like, you need to go. The thing is, if he physically can't perform, but he physically could perform when we saw that he came on. So the question is, why not have him start and then have Smith Rowe come on? I'm not sure what the thought process was there. I wasn't mad about it when I saw the starting lineup, because I always knew that Martinelli is a very good player to have in reserve, but I don't know.
It's not like Smith Rowe is trash.
Exactly.
Though.
Exactly.
Like,
That's my point.
but I think Smith Rowe is more of like him and Odegaard should be swapping out, and you keep Martinelli on for this game. But that's
also
regardless.
saw some like Smith Rowe slander that said something about like he hasn't scored in 27 games. And while I'm here for Arsenal slander, that's not his game. He's a distributor. Like he's a field general. He's not a goal scorer anyway. So, like, yeah, you may be right, but like, is anybody scrutinizing the Steven Gerrard goal ledger? Like,
I mean,
no, because he controlled a game. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
So this is the most upset I've gotten about the Newcastle result, is sitting here talking about it. I tried not to get too worked up watching the game. Of course, I was watching with my children. I didn't want to. And I'm also actively trying not to get as emotionally involved and attached to Arsenal results.
Why?
Because I spiral. It's not good for me to get as emotionally. Hey, Brad, 2 years ago, I took all of my Arsenal jerseys and put them in a box.
I remember. I meant to have a box today.
You
have a box today.
You make fun of me for it. And so
I do.
I
still do.
I'm trying not to get as emotionally involved in Arsenal anymore.
I also, like, behind the pod, you guys know about our group chats. I specifically just didn't text, and then the next morning was like, James, is it all right? This shit talk, like, because I knew you had to be furious from that Newcastle game.
You sent the meme first, and then you said too soon.
yeah. I gave you a little bit.
I mean, honestly, like, I'm disappointed, but honestly, like, I'm. It's not like I'm not gonna support Arsenal. Like, I still love the club. I still love the players. Am I sad that we're not gonna be in the Champions League when I think that we are a good enough team to be in the Champions League? Yes. Am I disappointed that we're gonna be in the Europa League? I mean, maybe if I'm only comparing it to the fact that we're not going to be in the Champions League, but like I do consider this to be progress over last season. Last season we finished 8th, and that was awful. 2 years ago we finished 8th. Granted, we won the FA Cup, but that was awful finishing 8th. I don't want to finish 8th. I'm okay finishing 5th, like, contentiously. I mean, clearly I want to finish. I screw the top 4. I want to be competing for the title, and I think that Arsenal are on a trajectory to be doing that. I think we are.
I took a little bit of an exception to your comment earlier, which is what you're alluding to now. That you stated that if before the season you said you could skip the games and finish 5th, you'd be okay with that. Just this particular season, not every season.
This specific season, if you had asked me,
season.
I think most Arsenal fans would have accepted that.
I take exception with that because I feel like your follow-up question would be, where did Tottenham finish? Because if they finish 6th, you'd be okay with 5th. The fact that they're finishing 4th, I don't. If I would have told you, hey, Arsenal finished 5th, but Tottenham finished 4th, are you okay with this at the end of the season? You'd be like, no.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Well, I probably,
because that would be my first question: is where's Arsenal?
I mean, my second question would be where's. My first question might be where's Chelsea, because I don't.
Yes,
Me personally, James Tiffany, the Arsenal fan, is different than the vast majority, and I've stated this multiple times on the podcast. My support of Arsenal is different than people who grew up in Islington and grew up in North London, and like they have a different relationship with the club than I do, and so like that's a different calculus for them. So finishing behind Tottenham is more painful for them than it is for me. Granted, I am on board when it happens. Like I'm of course a proper Arsenal supporter that I get excited over those things, but it's not as emotionally resonant with me in that sense. But yeah,
But I told
that's a good question, Sean. Like whether or not if you polled Arsenal fans, if you put a poll on our Gunners, the Arsenal subreddit, and asked at the beginning of the season, Arsenal finish fifth, Spurs finish fourth, would you accept that before any of the games were played? I would imagine the vast majority of people would vote no
it'd
on
probably
that.
be like 55 to 60% no.
I think it would be like
I think it's
90%. I
much
think it would be
higher.
90% no if you pull that.
But-
Really?
But also, in same our Gunners, if you had asked, hey, is it Champions League or bust, or is it European football or bust?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, all right, so
I think
the-
95%, that same 90% is saying European football or bust.
Yeah, well, that was my point. Is if you put the same poll and say Arsenal finished before the season, Arsenal finished fifth, but Tottenham finished sixth, you're probably getting close to 90% yes.
Yeah, probably.
We'll take
Yeah.
that. We'll get back into Europe. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a stepping stone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which
that was the
took-
goal
took-
this year. I'm like 95%. Like
I mean,
I think that
the
that's
club
been
announced
stated
it.
that-
The CEO
yeah.
said it, that like the reason why Arteta got his contract renewal when he did was because we had achieved the goals for the season, which was to confirm at least European football, which we had done at that point.
Yep.
which took me down a rabbit hole, which I ranted at Brittany
You should apologize to Brittany.
over drinks, because that was happening. That conversation was happening roundabout when I met up with her, and I was like, James has to understand. Like, let's. This is a conversation we had in the group chat. Let's like, don't be naive. Like, Newcastle are coming. If they're laying the groundwork like we think they're going to be doing, which is what they should be doing, 5 to 6 years they're gonna be here. And you're kidding yourself as a Spurs and an Arsenal fan with the way we're spending to look at a top four of Newcastle, City, Liverpool, and Chelsea and think, no, we deserve to be a top four team. No, we don't spend like they do. We'd be lucky to be a top four team in that group.
Arsenal have been.
Arsenal's outspent Chelsea like the past 2 seasons.
Only
Well,
net
this-
spend. Only net
Yeah,
spend.
come on. Your team's already established, and you got 2 11s. Like, you got 2 11-man teams.
The Kroenkes have demonstrated over the last 2 summers that they're willing to spend money. So like I don't necessarily.
You have.
Yeah. So I don't know if that necessarily applies to Arsenal. I think it applies more to Spurs. But
Yeah,
like,
but as a fan, you have to be realistic and be like, as a Spurs fan, I have to realize we're West Ham. Like, let's be honest. Like, we spend here and there, but like, do we deserve to be up there if all these people are doing what they're doing and we're not doing it?
Well, the thing about the Newcastles and the cities of the world is that it's entirely possible that Manchester City just implode if all of their financial doping gets brought to light.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, it did.
sure.
Well, but like apparently the UK government has been investigating them. So like there is a possibility that like their time gets called. Like, I don't think it's a high possibility, but like clearly City are not the most profitable footballing entity in the world. They don't generate more revenue than Real Madrid or Manchester United in a legitimate way.
There's no way.
But apparently they do. So like that's my point. So I think if Newcastle take a more measured approach with the way that they build the foundations of their club instead of like the Chelsea City model where they just pump in a bunch of cash and buy players, because let's all be honest, the genesis, the way that this system with the mega rich clubs coming in and buying players, that is the Chelsea model from the early thousands. Like, Chelsea ruined football. Roman Abramovich ruined football, and I will say that 100 times over because it's just the truth. And then you end up with teams like PSG and now Manchester City and the Newcastles of the world. Like, and so I hope that Newcastle approach it from a more traditional standpoint. They stay within the lines. They follow all the rules. They dot all their I's and cross their T's, and they're on above the board with it. I hope that happens, and I have no indication to say that they won't do that.
What's a little different about go ahead.
But I guess my only point is that, like, yes, I see what you're saying. Your point is that like there's more money coming in. These clubs are still going to be there. Like, should I, as an Arsenal fan, see the writing on the wall and be concerned? I think yes, clearly like Newcastle having a boatload of money is concerning, but at the same time, Arsenal have been flexing their financial clout, and I say this with no disrespect to Newcastle supporters, but Arsenal are a bigger club than Newcastle United. And I don't think that that's a disrespectful statement.
I think the
As Americans, I think we agree, but I'm pretty sure Joel's gonna flame you up for that one.
How?
He
But,
might,
but by what
I
metrics?
that was exactly going to be my point of especially Manchester City. Like maybe Chelsea's got an argument, but especially City when it comes to clout. Newcastle, as a historical club, are far and above
Agreed.
Manchester City.
100% agreed. I'm not trying to say that Newcastle are a small club by any means. I'm saying that like if
No.
you compare the two, yeah, I think Newcastle are a bigger club than Manchester City. Like absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean, you might be able to make an argument that Newcastle are a bigger club than Chelsea.
Well, yeah,
I mean, you could. I don't think it's a good
like
one, but you
the,
could.
the titles have been piling up recently for the last 20
Certainly.
years, so it makes it harder to argue, but it's there. Like that's why I thought this would work really well. And the empty hod is a different story. That's an anomaly. But Newcastle had the supporters. That just about the whole north of England supports Newcastle.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong,
The
Joel,
north,
but
certainly the northeast. I mean, clearly you have the other clubs up there that
yeah,
have their own
there's
support.
Sunderland,
but,
right?
like, yeah,
Sunderland is up there with them, but and Middlesbrough.
now, Middlesbrough is in
In the
middle.
the middle.
Yeah, well, hold on now. Now we got to update the map to move Middlesbrough up to Newcastle.
Yes.
Hold on. Hey, wait. Before I forget, did you guys see England had Jack Grealish trying to pick out the English national team had Jack Grealish trying to pick out where he was born on the English map. He just looked at it and said, "I'm gonna fail."
That's disappointing.
Where was he?
It was I don't know, but it was just hilarious to me. They had just a blank map of England. We're like, "Where were you born?" And he was like, "I have no idea."
That's disappointing.
That is disappointing. Could you guys point to exactly where you were?
I was born in Fairfax, Virginia, at Fairfax Innova Hospital.
Alexandria Hospital.
So yes,
So close. Yeah.
I
could point. I could point to mine too. I don't think I'd be right on, but
I can't tell you the room.
You could point in the general area.
I know where Williamsburg is. Yeah, I was born in Williamsburg.
Yeah.
Pretty less than 4 miles from the Jamestown settlement.
Oh,
Wow.
named after me, don't you know?
Jamestown.
Yeah.
My time. We should move on from Arsenal, because that West Ham result against City is actually a pretty massive result in the grand scheme of things. West Ham were up 2-0 in that game.
Through the first half. Like, what happened? I didn't get to watch it because I was at work. But
Yeah, I was on vacation. I was on vacation this weekend, so
I was at church.
I didn't watch any of the games.
Oh no, I was at church.
Watch nothing.
That's how I missed it. I walked in and I was expecting my boss to just talk tons and tons about it because he's a Liverpool fan. Like I was bracing myself for it, and he's just super pissed off because West Ham ended up drawing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He thought the West Ham were gonna win.
Yeah, he had West Ham. He was so excited because West Ham was going to win. Yeah.
You can't get too
And
excited.
so, boom.
My boy Fabianski saved a penalty, so I'm just saying. But yeah, that's a huge result because with Liverpool dropping points against Spurs a couple weekends, if City had won that game, they would have been champions, right? They'd be at 92 points. Okay, maybe not quite, but they would have damn near been champions with the goal difference situation.
That game was possibly, and I say this knowing we did the double over City this year, but that game was probably the best game I've seen Tottenham play this year against Liverpool.
Oh yeah,
because that's a Liverpool hungry to get the victory, and it was back. We step for step, right there with them. You punch us, we punch you, and it was a really, really good game.
Other than that, like, interesting results is that Brentford did get that victory over Everton, keeping Everton in the relegation zone, or in the relegation scrap.
9-man Everton.
Scrap, I should say. Yeah, I need to go back and see what happened there. But we should, of course, talk about this FA Cup final. Brad, have you gotten the chance to watch that game? Did you go back and have not? Okay, I haven't seen it. I was traveling on Sunday, it was Saturday. I was on. Okay, yeah, I was on a boat. But
I think the only question and the elephant in the room is you have played two League Cup. You have played two cup finals against Liverpool this year and lost both in penalties.
Correct. We have played them 4 times and they've scored 1 goal.
How many goals how many goals have you guys scored?
1 goal.
I mean, you guys are so this was the whole thing.
I think that's impressive. I think that's impressive on both sides of the
It is.
It's
just
that's 420 minutes. Wait.
More because you had 240 in the cup finals.
2 120s, yeah. So 240 and then plus 120.
180.
Yeah, 180. Sorry, math hurts my
240
head.
plus 180 is how much, Brad?
I don't know. Sean, do the math.
Put the 80 on the 40. That's
I was right for the first time.
320, 420?
420. I was right the first time.
Nice.
420. 420 minutes, 2 goals.
Blaze it, boys.
Okay.
2 goals. That's it. And let's be real. Liverpool has a chance to be the best team in Europe this year.
They do.
And we held them to 1 goal in 420 minutes. So, as much as it sucks to lose on penalties twice to the same team, it's penalties. We didn't that's awesome.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is 4 straight FA Cup final losses for Chelsea in a row.
I think it's 3.
I think it's 4, if I'm not mistaken, but maybe I am mistaken, and maybe it's just 3. It's at least 2.
It's yeah.
Well, you guys didn't make it to the FA Cup final last year against Leicester, did you?
Yes.
That was you against Leicester? So it was Liverpool, Leicester, Arsenal in 3 years.
Correct. And then I think we beat United the year before that.
I don't think you guys were the holders when we beat you.
I think so.
It doesn't matter.
I'm pulling it up.
So is Thomas Tuchel still going to destroy Klopp's legacy in England? That was the talk, right? That once Tuchel got the Champions League, it was just downhill for Klopp, and that Tuchel was just gonna destroy his legacy, being the best German manager.
In less than a year, the only thing that I guess more than a year now, right? Because he's been there a year, and in a year and a half, he is missing 1 trophy that Klopp has. That's it.
The Premier League?
Just the league.
Yeah. Well, now the FA Cup. Sorry, FA Cup and Prem.
The League Cup? Klopp has a League Cup?
From this year, right?
He just won it
this year.
So I'm confused at what you're saying.
I'm saying that Thomas Tuchel has won the
Champions League. 1
less trophy than Klopp has, and that's the Premier League title. That's the only thing that Tuchel has that Klopp has that Tuchel doesn't in a year and a half.
And the FA Cup. And the League Cup.
Right, now, before the FA Cup.
Oh, so saying...
we won the League Cup last year. Didn't we? Hold on, let me check. I might be wrong.
I'm pretty sure you're wrong. Didn't City win it last year? This is neither here nor there. I was just joking.
Because they were going for the treble, but the treble included the League Cup, which is a fake treble.
They're actually going for the quadruple, aren't they?
Liverpool
quadruple.
Liverpool, which would be now that Spurs are hopefully, knock on wood, finishing 4th and not gonna go for the title. I kind of want Liverpool to win. The quadruple? Has that ever been done?
Nope.
That would be really that would be it's probably the only one that has 4 trophies, to be honest. But
yeah, because we have 2 League Cups or 2.
Yeah, I don't think the rest of the leagues have 2 cups. It's just 1.
We should get rid of the Carabao Cup. It's dumb.
But that would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not going to happen.
No.
City.
They got the 2 trophies.
So let's take a look at what we got coming up. Also, a quick shout out to Chelsea women. They did win the FA Cup. They beat Manchester City in the FA Cup. So Emma Hayes does the league and cup double with Chelsea. I think for the second year in a row. Yeah,
Yep.
that's impressive for Chelsea women.
Yep.
So of course, congratulations are
Go
due
ahead,
to,
go
due
ahead
to
and
them.
go ahead and say your second bullet point, so you can get that out of the way.
Oh no, that was from last week. I didn't delete it from last week. I mentioned that last week. It was just I didn't delete our comment about the Women's Super League and that Arsenal finished 1 point behind Chelsea. Yeah, that was the only point.
Yeah.
So in the EPL we got coming up. So Thursday, this is going to be the last games to finish out to get everybody to 37 games played. So we got Everton hosting Palace on Thursday, Villa hosting Burnley, and Chelsea hosting Leicester. Once those games are played, we'll be at 37 games played for everyone, which will take us to Championship Sunday. All the games kicking off at exactly the same time. I think it's like 11:30 Eastern, maybe 12:30 Eastern. I don't really know. I'll be at church. But Arsenal hosts Everton, Brentford hosts Leeds, Brighton hosts West Ham United, Burnley hosts Newcastle, Chelsea hosts Watford, Palace hosts United, Leicester hosts Southampton, Liverpool will host Wolves, City will host Villa, Norwich will host Spurs. By show of hands, who here would support a Jack Grealish own goal, scoring for Villa to give the title to Liverpool? Yeah. Okay. Wouldn't that?
By the way, for those listening on the pod, that was all three of us. That's the only way I'm okay with Liverpool winning the title is if it's a Jack Grealish own goal.
Why do you dislike? Well, okay, so just time out.
I just don't want to hear it at work. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I just don't want to hear it at work that Liverpool got the quadruple.
That's fair.
Or the treble. I don't want to hear it.
That's fair. That's entirely fair. But yeah, you can't. I'm with Pep. Everybody's supporting Liverpool because nobody likes Manchester City, right? Even Manchester City fans don't like. They don't go to the games. So like, what are you supposed to be doing? But yeah, I would highly recommend everyone tune in to find a match. I know if you're in America, 5 of the games will be hosted or played on like terrestrial television, but on the NBC networks, and I think the other 5 will be on Peacock. But find yourself a game. If I had to pick a game, I guess that's a thing that I do, right? That's apparently a thing.
This is the last one.
The last one. So what's the biggest dumpster fire game? Is it? I saw one a second ago.
I know what it is. Hey, Sean. What's your James' pick of the week or the dumpster fire?
Okay, are we weighing like levels teams here, like shitty teams playing shitty teams with relegation
on the
importance?
line?
You know where I'm going with this, Brad?
Yeah.
The James's pick of the week. If you only have one game to watch between 2 crappy teams duking it out, playing crappy football, it is undoubtedly Arsenal hosting Everton.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey, but wait a second. Now that we've all dumped on Arsenal this entire hour long,
we also dump on United.
Hold on. No. Before we dump on United, hold on.
Guys, we only have a couple. We're well over an hour.
Are we ready?
At this point, so
Are we ready for the most Spursy thing in the world to happen and Norwich beat Spurs?
It's not going to happen. It wouldn't happen.
It is the most Spurs thing.
It won't happen.
Possibly happen.
It's impossible.
Norwich are home. They got nothing to play for. They haven't played for anything in a month and a half.
Could you imagine if Arteta gets 4th?
Yeah, that would make for a spicy all or nothing.
I'm here for this. I'm here for this future.
You guys are doing the pod next week without me. If Spurs lose.
If Spurs lose, okay. If Spurs, well, the thing about it
is, if Spurs lose and Arsenal win,
yeah,
I'm out of here.
So both teams lose, then you're still here.
Well,
yeah.
Just be careful, Sean. In like 4 weeks, you're doing the podcast by yourself. So, but that's for another day. Also, there's Champions League final coming up. We'll talk about it more next week as we break down Championship Sunday, because after this Sunday we've got 1 week left of European football. That's going to be the Champions League final in Paris at the Stade de France. It is Liverpool hosting Madrid. It'll be a great game, but we'll talk about that more next week. So if you're still listening, Really appreciate it. Brad, I'm going to start doing the outros, and then you can interrupt me with your little Snapple fact here in just a second. But if you're new here and you're still listening, first, really appreciate it. Thanks. Hit that like button, subscribe, follow, 5-star, comment, all those things. You wouldn't want to turn into an Everton fan. That would be very inconvenient.
Yes, I would.
Facts. But all right, guys. So Mason Mount has now both scored and assisted in 6 Premier League games.
All right.
For the season.
Okay.
There have only been 2 other English players to score 6 or more, to score 7 within a season, to score an assist in a game 7 times in a season.
Okay.
What are the names of these 2 English players?
Alan Shearer. Frank Lampard.
I'm going to throw Harry Kane in there.
I think that's a safe person to throw in there.
Because it could be this year with how many assists he's thrown to Son. And Stevie G. No. Lampard.
Yeah, I think it's Mason's father.
All right, so if you actually took out Lampard and you guys combined your answers, you're correct. Alan Shearer in 94-95 and Harry Kane in 2021.
Harry Kane.
2021.
Yeah.
So excellent choice. Yeah. But hey, listen, we got 2 games left, and there's a chance that Mason Mount can do this in both games and therefore surpass both of them.
He'd be the only English player to have ever
scored and assisted in 8 games in the Premier League.
Guys, this is such an ESPN stat. I'm not surprised that Brad found it.
On a Wednesday.
Yeah, raining. Yeah, ridiculous. If you want to interact with Brad and get him some more ESPN facts, he would love them. You can send them to @KSBradG on Twitter. You're going to be linking your Son elbowing Rob Holding videos to @Whiteheart_Sean on Twitter. And then I'm @JamesTiffany. We will be tweet me your support that why you hate Paul Tierney, and I'll be happy. We collectively
it's Kieran Tierney's dad.
Tweet at us at redcard_radio. You'll get to Brad there. Brad likes to tweet from that account and then respond from his personal account and then respond from the business account.
Guys, why are you mad at the intern here? Just because I interact with the intern, neither one of you do. That's not my fault.
It's kind of rude to refer to your left hand as the intern, Brad.
Everyone that listens to this podcast knows that we can't afford an intern.
Yeah,
even though the intern is free.
The CFO hasn't approved that line item in the budget yet.
Yeah, which would be your wife.
Yeah, that's this joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all. That's all we got. Come at us next week. And maybe, just maybe, we'll have some Spurs slander for you. Good night. Oh, wrong buttons. I can't hit. Oh, there we go. Bye.